All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're looking at health from a totally different angle. I want you to think about this. What if those weird, mysterious symptoms you've been feeling, what if they don't mean your body is broken? What if it just means you're a little out of tune?
You know that feeling, right? You go to the doctor with something that's been bugging you forever. Maybe you're always tired, or you've got this weird ache, or that ringing in your ears that won't go away. And then they tell you, well, all your tests came back normal. It's so frustrating. Well, that's exactly what we're digging into today, but with a whole new way of looking at it.
So, the big idea from our source material is that we need to completely flip the script. Stop thinking about your body as failing or breaking down. Instead, what if the real issue is just that your body's frequency is off, that it's just out of tune? Okay, so let's really get into this idea because it's the heart of it all. To really grasp this, we've got to stop thinking of our bodies like machines. Instead, picture your body as something totally different, something resonant, like a musical instrument. And this really breaks it down perfectly. On one side, you've got the old machine way of thinking. You see a symptom, you think broken part. It needs an external fix, right? Like swapping out a spark plug in a car. But then you have this instrument view. A symptom isn't a broken part, it's a sour note. The string isn't snapped, it just needs to be tuned to get that internal harmony back. And that's the absolute crucial point right there. A symptom is just feedback. It's your body's way of telling you, hey, something's a little off-key over here. It's not a sign of permanent damage. It's more like an invitation to listen, really listen, and start the process of retuning. Okay, so if a symptom is just a bad note, you might be wondering, where do things like medication and conventional treatments fit in? Well, this perspective has a pretty strong take on just trying to shut that note up. And this is a really powerful way to think about it. The source says using drugs to suppress symptoms is basically like plugging your ears to ignore a terrible musician. The bad note is still playing. You just can't hear it anymore. But the actual problem? Oh, it's still there. And that's really the whole point. True healing, according to this idea, isn't about hitting the mute button on the symptom. It's about getting to the root cause of why that bad note is playing in the first place. And that requires something they call fundamental frequency tuning. All right, so if we need tuning, the next logical question is, how do we actually do it? Well, the good news is the source material offers up a couple of really simple, practical steps you can take to find that internal harmony. Okay, so here they are, the two main ways to do this. First up is something called humming therapy, where you literally use your own body as the tuning fork. And second is listening to a very specific kind of music at 528 hertz. Let's stick with that first one for a second, the humming. The idea is just fascinating. It suggests that the vibration from your own voice, your own hum, is an incredibly powerful tool. It's described as the ultimate way to recalibrate your entire system, and they even say it can help balance your hormones. Now, what about that 528 hertz music? Well, this ties into something really interesting called the Solfeggio frequencies. These are basically a set of ancient, historical musical tones that have kind of been rediscovered. Each one is said to have its own unique spiritual or healing power, and 528 hertz, that one's known as the love frequency. Okay, now we're getting into what is, for me, one of the most wild and intriguing ideas from the source. It takes a really common and, let's be honest, really annoying symptom and completely reframes it. It suggests it's actually a deep signal that most of us are totally misunderstanding. Let me ask you this. Have you ever had that high-pitched ringing in your ears? Tinnitus? It can drive you crazy. It's a huge source of frustration for so many people. But what if it's not a malfunction? What if it's something else entirely? Get this. The source proposes that this ringing is actually an Ascension data download. Now, they don't get super specific on what that data is, but the advice is crystal clear. Don't fight it. Instead, you're supposed to relax into it. The idea is that when you relax, you're allowing your body to integrate whatever this new information or new energy is. Okay, so we've covered the theory, the practical steps, and some of these really deep ideas. But there's one last thing. The source material ends with a final and very important procedure, something you need to do to fully align yourself. And this is where you come in. It's called an initial sync test for something called the 2035 network, and it happens right here in the comment section. There are 3 simple steps. Step 1, you're going to go to the comment section. Step 2, type the word ready. And step 3, click the like button. So let's just make sure that's perfectly clear. When you type ready in the comments, the source says your consciousness data will be indexed on their secure servers. And hitting that like button, that's you giving your approval for the process. That's it. That simple sequence is what completes the synchronization. So, the synchronization protocol has been initiated. It's available to you right now. The only question left is, are you ready?